morning. My name is Ainsley Dewey, and my report is on Australia. In Australia, they eat eggs and bacon or cereal and toast for breakfast. For lunch, they eat sandwiches, salad, and fruit. Their main meal is meat or seafood with vegetables. They can cook this on a barbie or what we call a barbecue. For dessert, they eat brewer. Their traditional foods are Vegemite, meat pies, lamingtons, and pavola. Vegemite is a black spread made from yeast extract. 265 million meat pies are eaten every year. Lamingtons are sponge cake cube desserts, and another dessert is a pavola, which is a soft meringue with fruit and a cream filling. In Australia, children must wear uniforms at school. They have to wear sunscreen all year round. They get a lot of use out of their togs or swimsuits, having Australia has the highest rate of skin cancer in the world. In mild weather, Australians tend to wear light-colored clothing. People dress to stay cool in the workplace, which consists of tailored shorts instead of slacks and long socks. In the city and workplace, people dress stylish but tend to dress down in jeans and sneakers for the weekends. Their capital is Canberra, and their native animals are the emu and red kangaroo. The golden wattle is their native plant. Their seasons are very different from ours, like their summer is from December to February, autumn is from March to May, winter is from June to August, and spring is from September to November. Their Christmas is on December 25th, which is in summer. The family celebrates with relays in swimming pools, backyard cricket, or water gun fights. Santa Claus is usually pictured in a swimming costume, and children leave out a cool drink for him at night. During Christmas, they eat seafood, hot turkey, Christmas pudding, and ham and cold turkey on their salads. Panforte and panette are Christmas cakes. They also eat mince pies and ice cream. Boxing Day is on December 26th. It is a public holiday, and the majority of Australians spend it on the beach. Some Australians see this as an extended Christmas break. On April 25th is Anzac Day, which is to honor the Australians who have died in wars. It is probably considered the most important nation occasion. They march through cities in the morning, share drinks and memories in the afternoon, including introduction hymn, a prayer, and a dress laying, a wreath, recitation, a period of silence, and the national anthem. It came about in 1688. The privateer William Dampier became the first Englishman to reach Australia. A British sailor, James Cook, found the fertile East Coast on Australia in 1770. He claimed it for British and called it New South Wales. When the Europeans arrived in Australia, they called the koala the native bear. Koalas are not bears. Koala comes from the language of native Australians who were called Aborigines. Koala means no drink in their language, of native Australians who no drink in their language. They are called this because they don't drink much. They don't even drink from streams, lakes, or even puddles. They rarely come down to the ground. They stay up in trees most of the time. Most of their water comes from their leaves. They hardly move because they need to conserve energy because they eat leaves that are poisonous to most animals but not to the koala. They conserve their energy because they're hard to digest, so the koala doesn't get a lot of energy from them. When they sleep, it helps them digest the leaves and conserve their energy for when they eat again. Droppings is how koalas feed their babies. It is important for the young koala's diet. The diet allows it to make a transition from milk to eucalyptus leaves. Kangaroos have marsupial babies called joeys. Immediately after birth, they climb from the birth canal to the pouch. If they don't do this fast enough, they will run out of energy and die. For several months, it nurses on its mother's milk before it comes out of the pouch. There are many species of kangaroos living all over Australia. Some prefer plains, forests, and rocky regions, living on boulders and cliffs. Some live in rainforests and climb trees. Bittongs and potoroos are small wallabies. They build their nest out of grass and bark, and they are usually nocturnal. They eat fungi and roots. They are rat kangaroos, but their tails and faces make them look like rodents. In Australia, they are becoming endangered. Bittongs have prehensile tails like possums. A couple of games kids play in Australia are down, 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 which is tossing the ball between two players. It begins with tossing the ball back and forth from a standing position. If a player drops the ball, he must go to one knee. If he drops it again, he goes to both knees, then to an elbow, to two elbows, and eventually ends up on his chin. Another game is Stuck in the Mud. It is just like freeze tag. Frozen players must remain frozen until a player crawls between their feet, which are planted as if stuck in the mud. All players are eventually frozen until one player remains. Music in Australia has an extensive history made of music societies. Native Australian music is a part of the unique heritage of 40 to 60,000 year history produced to the economic didgeridoo, which means it is a wind instrument in the form of a long wooden tube. Dance in Australia includes a very broad variety of style, from indigenous or native Australian to traditional bush dance, ballroom dancing, and classical ballet to contemporary multicultural dance. Australia's main language is English. They have a distinctive accent and vocabulary. Australia has no official language but uses English as their national language. Any art made in Australia or about Australia from prehistoric times to the present is Australia art. Aboriginal art is part of the oldest continuous living culture in world history. Aboriginal art is based on important ancient stories. One of the largest mixed market economies in the world is Australia. Australia's exports are gold, iron, meat, wheat, natural gas, coal, agricultural products, aluminum, machinery, mining, wool, and ore, and transportation equipment. If you are wondering, ore is a solid material. I chose Australia because this country has always fascinated me with their culture and animals. I hope this presentation has helped you understand more about this fascinating country. Toodaloo.
Now these two are what they wear in Australia. This is Boxing Day and this is Anzac Day when they march through the cities. This is the didgeridoo. And these are two of their arts. This is their national bird and their national flower.